So today I want to talk to you about two specific pathways to recognizing the Absolute, to merge in the Divine, the optical pathway and the auditive pathway. So it is not so that everybody can easily obtain insight in the Absolute just by following any path. It is for that there has been written in the past many texts with many different forms of meditations. Some books focus on only one way. But that one way does not necessarily mean that everyone can follow that one path. So in order to make this clear, I will talk a bit on the optical and auditive pathways to know the Absolute. Those who follow our channel, they are aware of the phosphenes, the light patterns you can see behind the closed eyes. It is exactly the same with the auditive roads. You can start hearing sounds which are not from this outer world, just as you can see colors which are not from this outer world, but which are projections of your own activity, your own system being a receiver for optical information or auditive information. So the phosphenes are the lights you can see behind the closed eyes, and comparable there are sounds you can hear, sounds which are not from the objective world but inner sounds. If you just sit and watch the sounds, be present for the sounds rising in your field of consciousness, just as you can be present for everything you see in the visual field rising in your consciousness. You can also hear inner sounds. Of course, it needs some exploration in order to exactly know what happens, because you don't want to steer it, you want to open yourself for it. So just as you can open yourself for watching the changing light patterns behind your closed eyes, who at the end can lead to recognizing the light Buddha which you are yourself in the middle of your visual field, or the primary light everybody points out in the Bardo Turtle, the Tibetan Book of the Dead, that this is the recognition of the divine nature you are yourself in the moment of dying. So you can see via your internal lights quite intense phenomena which directly unlock the pathway towards the Absolute, towards the divine, unlocking the fact that you recognize that you are it. All the paths at the end come together in that realization. If you follow that path and you want specific time jump off the path into the not knowing, you will see, you will recognize. So now hearing, just as there is various possibilities to explore into the field of your vision with your eyes closed, for instance just covering them and observing in the vast darkness the shimmering lights happening, just you can so close your ears and start humming. And just hum and perceive the humming. Experience the humming and changing the tonality of the humming, and experience, where do I hear, where do I feel the vibrations. You can humming more loud, and then you can humming more light, more silent, and then you stop humming and you just listen to the silence. By having listened to the sounds of the humming and trying to perceive where they come from, you have been helping your system to be more perceptive for the sounds, for the path of Nada Yoga, for the path of sounds leading to absolute knowledge. Now, we have to understand there are people who are visual. 80% of the people is visual, and kind of 20% of the people is auditive or via another, like haptic channel, primary knowing their place in the world. For instance, blind people are much more focused into the auditive channel and the haptic channel, the channel of the body position in the axis of the gravity and in the space. So the path of Nada Yoga is the path via the inner hearing. And just as you can see with your eyes closed, with or without hands, the differences in color, which helps you to perceive the various phosphene patterns emerging, you can do in the air a rhythmic vibration and hum like By perceiving the rhythmic humming, you enable the system to be more sensitive after you stop. Don't make any humming sound and just perceive the silence. Now, in that silence, it is possible that you might hear high tones as if there are trumpets far away. Or you might hear bells ringing far away, high-pitched bells. The first time you just think, you look around, where does it come from? But these are sounds heard by the inner ear. So it can also be heavy bells of a church in the distance with these overtones, like a bronze sound with high overtones. It can also be choirs in the vast emptiness of your auditive field, choir in the vast distance, like people singing in a church a mile away, just listening to that choir. And just as the phosphenes can shape into divine figures, angels, Buddhas, devas, light beings coming with transparent wings from within, so voices can happen in the head of great intensity, like being able to hear the voice of the angel or the being which manifests in your field of consciousness, because you totally are aware of what is rising. There are no obstacles for the divine knowledge to enter your space of recognition. So it is not about just following one method. It's about understanding which method is your method, and on the path drop the method. On the path drop the method. The method will never help you, only in the beginning to exercise your abilities to perceive. This holds true for all meditative pathways, including yoga, qigong, and Zen archery. it is all about, at a certain moment, after building up skills and awareness and understanding, that you drop everything and just go with the flow of that path. So I just drop the method and go with the flow of the path, either into the light or into the sound, either into the heavily light, the primary light of the bardo, or into the heavenly voices, the primary tone of the Absolute. You can find the ultimate truth either in the primary light or in the primary tone. And once you merge with the primary manifestation of your being, you will recognize that the sound and the light are the same. Fuck yes. This is the secret I want to convey. You need intensity, you need presence, and you need to select the correct path for you. For doing that, you need to experiment and listen to your own impressions. Is this fitting to my state of being, this path? If not, you serve the path, you leave it, and you enter the other path. Either the path of the light or the path of the sound. But there are other pathways, like the pathway of the Tantric Touch. This is the pathway via the sensitivity of touch, bringing you, just as these other pathways, in the sublime recognition what is, if you learn how to perceive the body rising in the field of consciousness by being totally and fully present for each moment of touch. This is the pathway of the Tantric Touch. Those 3 pathways are examples which I wanted to share with you of the sacred roads into the recognition of who you really are. Namaste.